Failure is bearable, regret is not. Hi, everyone. David G., host of this 3-Second Selling podcast and author of the 3-Second Selling platform. So let's begin with a simple truth. Most of us can live with failure. Most of us can live with failure. I didn't say we like it. I didn't say it doesn't hurt or sting. I said we can live with it. So I recently heard an interview with George Clooney over the holidays, and something he said stopped me in my tracks. Clooney, someone who has clearly failed and succeeded at the highest levels, said that failure is actually manageable, especially as we get older. But then he made a distinction that matters more than almost anything we talk about. He said regret is very hard to live with, especially the regret of not even trying. That one line deserves a pause. Regret is hard to live with, especially, most especially, the regret that comes with not even trying. Because regret reframes almost everything that we've been taught to fear. So failure has a bad reputation. Let's talk about that. Let's unpack that for a minute. Failure has become this scary, over-dramatized thing. We treat it like a verdict, like a permanent label on our character. Like if we fail, it says something bad, something damning about who we are. But failure is not a character flaw. It's a byproduct of engagement, of trying, of attempting. You don't fail at things you don't attempt. Failure only shows up when you raise your hand, when you step forward and you say, I'm in, I'm trying, I'm there, I'm out there. And here's the part we don't talk about, or at least enough. Failure fades. Over time, failure becomes information, feedback. It becomes context. It becomes a story you can tell with perspective. You learn, you adapt, you recover. Sometimes maybe you can even laugh about it later. Failure hurts, yes, but it moves. Regret, well, that behaves differently. Regret doesn't move. It lingers, it grows quieter in the short term, yes, but louder over the years. Regret shows up late at night, on birthdays, at reunions, during long walks when the noise finally shuts off, when you lay your head down on the pillow at night. And regret's not about what went wrong, it's about what never happened. It's the business you didn't start, the conversation you didn't have, the idea you keep thinking about, the book you didn't finish. Yes, Your Honor, guilty as charged. I'm working on it, though. It's going to be out in 2026. The leap you postponed because the timing wasn't right, or you weren't ready, or you told yourself you'd get to it someday. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People avoid failure so carefully that they almost guarantee regret. People avoid failure so deliberately that they guarantee regret. So, how does this hit harder as we grow older? Well, as we age, our relationship with risk changes. When we're younger, failure feels more catastrophic, like it might define us forever. Oh my gosh, I got fired, I got laid off, broke up with this person. But over time, we collect evidence that we recover, evidence that most things are fixable, evidence that even our worst days don't end us. So failure loses some of its power, some of its impact. And what replaces it? A growing awareness of our potential, unused potential, of ideas still sitting on the shelf, of abilities we never fully tested, of stories that we never allowed ourselves to live. And that is when regret becomes dangerous. Because regret's not loud and dramatic. It's subtle. It's persistent. It's heavy. And it asks that brutal question. What if you had tried? What if you had tried? So here's a better question for the new year. And this is why I think this idea matters so much right now. We're surrounded, of course, by resolutions, goals, habits, checklists, declarations. But instead of asking, what if I fail at this? Try asking a better question. What if I regret not trying? Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask instead, what if I regret not trying? One question is short-term and emotional. The other is long-term and existential. Failure might cost you pride. Regret costs you peace. Failure gives you lessons. Regret gives you what ifs. And the older you get, the harder those what ifs are to carry. For a long time, one of my biggest fears was having a tombstone, my tombstone, that was inscribed, "Here lies a guy with great potential." You know, that's not what you want to be thinking about 6 feet under the ground or on your deathbed. So the myth of ready, let's talk about that. Let me say this. You will never feel fully ready. I'm finishing my book right now and I don't feel fully ready. Dive in and write anyway, every day. Ready is a moving target. It's used to delay discomfort. If you're waiting for confidence, clarity, permission, or perfect conditions, guess what? You'll be waiting forever. Most meaningful things in life are attempted before you feel fully prepared. And yes, that means you might fail, but failure is a fair price for growth. It's a good exchange. Regret, on the other hand, is the interest that you pay on avoidance. Now, I want you to take this in the right way. This is not about recklessness, not a call to burn everything down. You don't need crazy goals or performative resolutions. You need one honest attempt. One thing that matters to you, one thing that stretches you slightly, one thing with a real chance of not working. That's where growth lives. That's where stories come from. That's where you prove to yourself that you are willing to participate in this life, your own life. So a final thought. Failure will challenge you. It will humble you, but it will teach you if you let it. Failure will challenge you. It will humble you. It will teach you. Regret, on the other hand, will sit with you. It is an unwanted companion. Get rid of it. Cast it off. So as you move into this new year, choose the path that gives you stories, not excuses. Choose attempts over avoidance, action over perfection, experience over endless preparation. You can survive failure, but you do not outgrow regret. You can survive failure, but you do not outgrow regret. Once you really understand that, well, the choice becomes clear. So good luck in 2026 and beyond. Thanks for being along, and let's enjoy the journey. Find something that challenges you, that scares you, and do something about it each and every day. Thanks for being along. We'll see you next time.